This is me, about to make that Reddit video, or, well, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Reddit. The video I posted about, online. I made some notes and shit, but I'll probably just be riffing some of it. This is the best synopsis probably you'll get from it. It's all over the place. I could probably say shit better and add to it later if I remember shit. But, you'll get the gist of what everything is. Stinging my fucking eye. Yeah, this says goosebumps on under it. The bandana does, but it's all I got. Yeah, I like 90s shit like Goosebumps. I loved that growing up. I'm 33. I love Legos. I still do. It's the most nostalgic thing about my past. It's one of my nostalgic things. I used to play sit in a place I probably shouldn't name, but you probably could find it on the internet. Or if you knew who I am, you know where it's at. If you've seen Channel 853. But anyways, yeah, that was one of the things I used to do with my so-called grandpa. Well, I'll get all the Channel 853 stuff, what that is, after all this information shit. After all this shit I read and talk about. Well, anyway, I don't know where to start. It's kind of weird. Ever since I was a kid, I'll tell you those things. That much. I was raised in a place called Morehead, Kentucky. That I know of. The furthest back I can remember is the apartments I used to live in Morehead, Kentucky. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Morehead, Kentucky, um, and I noticed ever since I was a kid, but I'd always forget it as if I'm being sodium pentothal, and yeah, I am. That's what somebody comes and says every few years, but I always forget it. It's real weird, like it's being pebble skipped because of sodium pentothal and some literally weird time travel stuff. Literally. Like Skinwalker portal time travel shit, Ganesh, the elephant god shit. Anyway, ever since I know, yeah, it sounds like a lot of bullshit, but ever since I could remember when I was a kid, I remember being at this. We lived at one or two other places before, but I was a real little kid. Whenever we lived at Pine Ridge, still like maybe, like I was just learning how to talk, or I know how to talk for like a year. Yeah, and like I remember these weird people coming over one day, and just I don't know who they are. Just these random weird. They said they was my family, but I don't know. They would come over and they like hang out with us, and all of a sudden they'd randomly start doing weird shit to me, like literally popping my head off of my fucking top of my head, like cutting my head off with a bone saw and to expose my brain, and trimming my dura matter down with like this cauterizing lasery like tool thing. They put snakes in my fucking head. You know. Uh, and all I ever really noticed was there are these things that I call a holographic Rolodex or a holodex. I don't know if a holodex is something else in science fiction, but that's what I called them for short, and I think somebody else did. I called them a holographic Rolodex. They would be wearing them. This is kind of like that Kyle Odom thing, if you've ever heard about it. But I've actually come into contact with these things before. And I was looking on YouTube and shit and seeing things like, dude, that Kyle Odom thing. I was looking up aliens. That Kyle Odom thing that I seen on YouTube one day. The day I seen it, I was talking to myself. I was like, dude, that is fucking that shit you went through with those things that you called camera monsters or fucking pompers when you were a kid. Or the boogeyman fucking shit, literally. And fucking, like, what the fuck else was I gonna say? Yeah, I noticed that shit, and like, there was some shit where I don't know where, I don't know what day the internet was made, but I remember my weird ass dad getting on the internet and talking to these animal looking things, like werewolf looking things and elephant looking things. It was fucking weird, and him being god awfully fucking weird and shit. I think that's why I always said camera monsters and shit. Uh, yeah, I have no idea how long the internet's been around, but I remember seeing them on like Yahoo and shit. Uh, and if you know what I'm talking about, I'd appreciate it if you like told me if you knew anything about that shit that's happened from around Morehead. I'm that guy that's on that weird channel on Direct TV and Dish, but I'm not really sure if it's on both of them. I think it was channel 853 or something in the 800s or 900s, where they would follow this dude with what looked like floating cameras, and it's fucking weird. I'm that guy that they're following with floating cameras, and they've been doing it to me since I was a little baby, and I know that. If you know anything, I'd appreciate it if you commented me some info on one of these videos, or if you can send a message on Reddit, I'd appreciate it. So now that you know the subject of this video and shit, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. Like I said, Pine Ridge is the farthest back that I can recall. Obviously, a few years before I would have been a baby as didn't talk. I grew up there with my mother and father, and Tina and Wade, and have been led to believe I was born at the St. Clair Hospital in that Kentucky County, along with two other younger brothers and one half sister. The weird events would always start with someone randomly coming to my house, like I said, and like in 2016, that's one of the crossover years I call them. I don't know what else to call it. But these people, these celebrities and shit, came over to lived in the trailer across from my house somewhere in Jackson, Kentucky, and they just started doing all this weird, funny shit with me and smoking weed with me. And it's like, dude, I just did it because I thought it was funny, And it ends up with all this drama. They lead you around through all these portals and shit, like you're living out a story or something, or like a TV show, and a bunch of people get killed, and it's and you get killed, and you kill people. It's fucking weird and it's fucking funny, and then all of a sudden stops. Like they get the cop, whoever came down gets the cops to get you out of prison. Yeah, I went to prison for eating people and killing them